Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We are here today with Jessica, who is a mother of four. Her boys are 1, 2, 11, and 15. We brought her on the show today to speak about things that she has battled with along the lines of depression her whole life. After pregnancy, she noticed some menstrual cramps were getting very bad. She had never really had that before, so trying to tolerate them and still be a great mom and a great wife was challenging. She started looking into other remedies, something more natural other than like prescription medication. And I feel like her story could really help a lot of other people. So that's why we're going to be speaking with her today. Jess, welcome.
Hey, welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself and life before the painful period cramps and life with the extreme anxiety and depression.
Okay. So for me, my menstrual cramps have never really been that bad. Even growing up, a lot of my friends would have like extreme cramping. And for me, maybe like a couple days, but it was completely fine. I think we all go through that little phase in life. I probably tried everything everybody else has, the heating pads, essential oils, the teas, a handful of Advils. I just got to a point that I didn't want to do that anymore. I just wanted to find something that was a little bit natural, that can also probably help me in different aspects of my life. So I came across CBD through a friend of mine who has fibromyalgia, and she was telling me a little bit about how it definitely helped her with her day-to-day pain. So I remember her giving me a little bit of the oil that she had left. And I started taking it about a week before my period. In that month, my cramps were significantly very, very less intense. I decided to take the oil instead of the Advil, just to see what happened. And it probably about 20 to 30 minutes definitely took my cramps away. I would say I was very, very surprised, but very excited at the same time. It's weird to be skeptical at first and then you try something and it's just like blows your mind away, because it definitely helped me in my other aspects of life, of course. With the depression, so I know we're talking about menstruation and stuff, but for me, it wasn't just about my period cramps. I've dealt with depression probably my whole life. And I'm not really an anxious person. I think when the depression sets in, it's just kind of overwhelming. So I did try it for that as well. I went on a trip last year to Italy, and I've never been away from my kids. Do you have kids?
Yes, I do.
So you know how that feeling is when you're away from your kids and you kind of have that knot in your stomach. And I remember looking at my husband at the airport and I was like, I need to take my CBD before we get even in the airport. So I did. I took my CBD tincture before we even boarded our plane, and it definitely just put me at ease. Made me more relaxed. I was able to chill out, even though I had a middle seat. And everybody knows when you're sitting in the middle, that's already anxiety to the most. It is the worst. I do not like the middle seat. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel the same way. Especially me, I drink a lot of water and I'm always getting up and bothering people. But yeah.
So, Jess, do you mind sharing with us the why the depression set in, or is there something that you can pinpoint that to? And when did it start? Like, how old were you? What were some methods that you used to try to overcome it? And how are you doing now?
My depression set in at a very young age. I lost my grandmother when I was really young, but I didn't know what it was. And I remember my mom taking me and my sister both, and she still suffers from it today. But they were trying to just give us prescriptions and prescriptions and prescriptions. My mother would never give us prescriptions. We grew up a lot on like holistic medicine. So when I turned, I believe it was 18, a really good friend of mine got in a car accident. So at that point in my life, I was a little bit older, and I definitely knew it was depression. And I took a leap, and I got on medication. So I know how it feels for that person to be like, oh, the medication really turned my life around for the worst, because it literally zombified me. It didn't make me any better. I think the medication just put a cap on everything that I was feeling, because once I got off and got with a trained professional, I went to a therapist. I was able to get out of that funk, but not only that, I was able to identify how and what got me there. So I used that tool throughout basically my whole entire life. I lost my dad, and that was really, really hard. So I think I still, every time like his birthday, Christmas comes around, I still deal with that. But since I've been taking my CBD for the last year, I'm able to control it. I'm able to know if it's coming. I'm able to identify certain things. Like I know if I wake up in the morning and for me, it's a little bit different. So my brain will kind of fog up, and I'll kind of have tunnel vision. So I know like either my anxiety is building up or something's coming on. And now for me, I instantly turn to my water soluble. That gives me the fastest relief that I need. But yeah, that's how I deal with it. It still happens here and there. I'm just human. But thankfully, I do have CBD in my life, and I do know how to identify the factors that trigger that in me.
So, and thank you so much for speaking with us today. I know some of these subjects can really hit the heart. But as I listen to you, it helps me, for me, it helps me be able to relate and to understand more about these different things like depression. And so I just really want to say thank you for sharing with us about that. So when you talk about like the tunnel vision in the morning time, and you turn to your water soluble, what does it do for you?
It's very strange, because when I in that state, it actually acts a little bit different. So for me, it gives me kind of like a mood boost, because for me, I'm very anxious. So the other side of the anxiety coin is depression. So like I said, I already know how to identify it. So when I do have that tunnel vision, when I'm not focused, when my brain is foggy, when little things people say irritate me, I go to my water soluble, because not only do I get that instant calming effect, it definitely gives me mental clarity, some focus back. It kind of just brings me back to me. And that's why I love the water soluble.
Okay. How do you take that product?
I actually put it in my coffee. Every morning, even though my coffee, I brew it hot, but I never really have it hot, because I have 4 kids to get ready in the morning. Mm-hmm. I leave it right next to my coffee maker, and I put it right in my coffee. If I'm out and about, I will just put it in anything I'm drinking and take it that way. But usually it's just in my coffee in the morning.
Okay. And when you said your mother used to do like holistic remedies and things like that. But every time she took you to a doctor, they wanted to put you guys on prescription medications.
Mm-hmm.
Were any of the other remedies that you were given growing up, were they comparable? Did they work for you?
Yes and no. So when I was first experiencing like the depression, I was really, really young. So I didn't think I understood how to meditate. So I come from a Brazilian culture. We are mostly very holistic. So we're very into meditation, clearing the mind, just taking that time out of your day for yourself to breathe, basically. I didn't know how to do that as a child. But sometimes I don't even know how to do that now. But I've learned. So I've probably tried everything. Meditation is a big thing. I even teach my kids that now, even though some of them are too young. But they know like they can just take time out of their day to process their thoughts, process what's going on. Breathing exercises are very important. And just little things like that. I remember my grandmother used to make a whole bunch of different remedies for everything. It looked like she was just putting grass and, I don't know, oil or something. She would give it to us and we would take it. We wouldn't ask her what it was. And it would help everything from cold to your backache to whatever you had, to a bee sting. But till this day, that's what I teach my kids. Meditation, and that extra time that you need. I think everybody needs just a step away from the situation that you're dealing with and just reevaluate.
Okay. So since you have, when you started taking product, how long was it before you really found relief?
So I started taking the product about, I want to say almost 2 weeks, because I did take it, I timed it a week before my menstrual cycle. And then my menstrual cycle came and it was tremendous difference. Like it was a lot less cramping. But I did notice other things getting better. So I would probably say almost 2 weeks for me.
You noticed other things getting better. What were those things?
Just like I said, the mental clarity in the morning was a big thing for me. My sleep was definitely a lot better. I mean, my sleep is kind of unpredictable with all the kids waking up in the middle of the night, but they would wake up and go back to sleep, and I'd be left awake, wide awake, overactive brain, couldn't get back to sleep. So that definitely got better. I was able to wake up with them, put them back to sleep. Sometimes I would go straight to sleep. I did start taking some gummies, and that actually helped me a lot, especially if I had to go back to sleep. But I mean, I personally think it helped me with every aspect of my day to day. Just gave me that overall sense of well-being.
Okay. So since you've been on product and the mental clarity has begun to come and all the other things that we've chatted about, how has it changed your life with your children, your daily activities, your relationship?
Um, so I think not only did it make me a better mom, definitely a better wife. I'm able to kind of reevaluate before anything is said and done. So I remember before I used to yell a lot at my kids. I know that sounds horrible, but now I'm actually able to be like, all right, what's going on? Like sit down and talk to them. Um, with my husband, the same way. I know all of our husbands drive us crazy. but mine really drives me crazy. Seriously, till this day. But no, I'm a lot more relaxed.